I guess so. Does this look like I have one leg if I sit like this?
Fine.
Okay. How do my bangs look?
Fine.
Because there's so much work. Okay.
How does mine look?
Your hair looks amazing.
All right, here we go.
I love them. I love them. They're just the two hairs.
You ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Marriage Tip Monday. I'm Brady.
I'm Kayla.
All
Sorry,
right,
you didn't prepare me for that.
Welcome back to Marriage Tip Monday. I'm Brady.
I'm Kayla.
And so we're going to bring you a tip today. What, you didn't like that? We're going to bring you a tip today from our marriage, and we're going to tell you how our marriage almost ended before it even got started. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so story is we got engaged when she was 18. I was on my 24th birthday. I asked her to marry me, and then
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Not always there.
I didn't know you were so old.
And then whenever we got married in July, she was actually 19. And what we figured out at 24, I thought I knew everything, and I thought I was already set in my ways. I already graduated college. I had a job. She was 19, and trying to still figure out what she wanted to do in life. And so I was not a nice guy. I mean, I was a nice guy, right?
No, not
Okay.
really.
All right. So tell them your side. So what happened?
Well, I think we have to set it up a little bit. So I was in school all day long, so I didn't work, and the only job you had was at the church.
Right.
So our finances were horrible. So everything, all of our problems stemmed from that. So we lived in like a really tiny apartment. We couldn't really go anywhere. We couldn't really do anything.
And we didn't even pay for the apartment.
Yeah, we lived there for free because your parents owned it.
Because my parents, yeah.
So that was a huge stressor on our marriage. All while I'm in school, I'm trying to figure out what, becoming an adult looks like. I had never lived away from my parents' home. I had never paid bills before. I was really clueless to that life. All of our issues kind of stemmed from just our lack, and I think that I assumed marriage was going to look a lot different. I was the baby of the family, and so were you, so we both were very spoiled. I always joke with people, I had my mom's credit card in my purse on our honeymoon. I remember like pulling it out, being like,
and we swiped it.
No. I remember being like, ooh, party on Jenna. Like I got married thinking he was going to take care of me. He got married thinking I was going to take care of him. And neither one of us were taking care of either.
Right. So meanwhile, I did not know this, but in year one of our marriage, everybody says 7 years is hard. No, we have, I feel like we've been on a honeymoon since year one, after year one to now. Like it's been great. But year one,
year 7 was like my favorite year.
Yes. Actually, my favorite year is like right now. But year one, I didn't know, but she was secretly planning on how she could leave me without being kicked out of church.
Yeah, so Brady wasn't really kind to me. So when a scenario would arise, you went straight into anger. Stop. Your first tendency was to be angry.
Right.
And not to say, hey, let's talk this out. Is there something that I can do to help you? Let's figure out a game plan to where this isn't an issue. You went directly into anger, and then I went directly into complete defense mode.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be, again, baby of the family. It's not my fault. I'm not going to be responsible. I don't want to take responsibility. And so it was this constant, neither one of us saw eye to eye. And so I used to go to bed at night literally thinking like I'm gonna be miserable for the rest of my life. This is what my life looks like. Is this, and not every day. We had great days.
Yeah.
I still loved you.
It was great.
I still want, I think in my heart I didn't want to not be married. Like I didn't want to not be married to you. I just didn't know why it was so horrible.
Right.
So I was kind of in that place. And again, none of my friends, I was 19, none of my friends were married. And your friends were married, but I hadn't gotten into the fold yet. Like, it was this awkward stage of like, my friends aren't married, so I don't fit in with them. But you had been friends with your friends, and I was, so it was kind of this awkward tension. I didn't really have anybody. So I went to my mom, like every girl does. And the wisest words, she said, Kayla, I will let you talk to me this one time, but don't ever come to me again about you and Brady's marriage problems, because I love you and I love Brady, and I don't want to take sides. She said, but I'll give you this one advice and then go away. Don't come to me ever again about your marriage. She said, I want you to pray every day that you will love Brady the way that God loves Brady, and that you will be the best wife that you can be. And I remember being like, well, that doesn't change him at all. Like, I wanted her to tell me, like, he's wrong, he needs to change, he needs to do this. But she said, you can't change him, but you can change yourself. So I said, okay. And honestly, every day, and you did not know this for probably 5 years.
I think it was year 5, or maybe even our first pre-marriage counseling we were doing with other people. And you said, I thought about leaving Brady on year 1. I'm like, wait, what? What's this nonsense? So I didn't even know.
So I would pray for him. And even on the days I didn't want to, I made myself, because I thought, well, whatever. I mean, it's probably not going to work anyway, so it's not a big deal. And I prayed every day, God, help me to love Brady the way that you love him, and help me to be the best wife I can be. Every day. And there were times where I would, once I got into it, I would lay my hands on your side of the bed, and I would pray over his pillow, God, help me to love him the way that you love him. And it became this thing that I would do, not even realizing I was doing it. And I would, like, every time I'd do your laundry, or I would cook your meal, I would pray over that. Like, anything that touched you, I would pray over it. And it was really funny, because I guess a couple months in, I started realizing, like, one day I just realized, like, we haven't really fought a whole lot lately. And Brady's being nicer to me, and I'm kind of going out of my way to do nice stuff for him. And it was this funny thing that I didn't even realize was happening, but the Lord really was mending our marriage. And it was really amazing to watch. So
the tip through all this is, don't pray that the spouse becomes what you want your spouse to be, but to pray that if your husband, pray that your husband will become everything that God's created him to be, which if you're married, he's going to be what you need, because probably what you thought you needed from me was not really what you needed.
Right.
And what I thought I needed in you is not really what I needed. And so now, after a year, and we say year 1, it was probably like 6 months in. It wasn't like, it's just, it was a struggle for us because we were young and no one really prepared us for what marriage really is. So if you're engaged and you're about to get married, we highly suggest going through pre-marriage counseling, with marriage counseling that talks about real issues and real roles, because if we would have done that type of pre-marriage counseling, it probably would have helped us, because we would be able to talk about expectations in marriage and role responsibilities, which that's what we had confused. I thought she was going to cook, clean, do dishes, laundry, and everything, and I was going to come home and be the king of the house and just watch SportsCenter. She had something else in mind. And so by us figuring it out, that's how we write our pre-marriage counseling. And so definitely go through it. If you're local and you know us and you're about to get married, we would love to speak into your life, especially if you're making comments on this. Let us know. And so tip is to pray for your spouse the way that God made them to be, not what you want.